The problem with fire in the field is not producing it. Soldiers in the Second World War who needed warmth and had wood, tinder, and time could produce fire. The problem was producing warmth in the situations where fire was not an option, during night watches in enemy territory where a flame would compromise a position, during weather conditions where maintaining a fire was not practical, during operations where the smoke signature of combustion was a tactical liability. In those conditions, the choice between warmth and operational security was not a choice any commander wanted soldiers making. A heat source that produced no flame, no smoke, no visible signature, and no detectable combustion byproducts changed the tactical calculation entirely. The solution that emerged from field improvisation in multiple theaters of the Second World War used chemistry rather than combustion, specifically the exothermic oxidation of iron, the same chemical reaction responsible for rust, controlled and accelerated to produce useful heat on a useful timeline. The principle was not invented for the war. Iron oxidation as a heat source had been understood in industrial and mining contexts for decades. What the field conditions produced was the improvised application of that principle with whatever materials were available: iron filings from workshop waste providing the reaction medium, salt from field rations providing the electrolyte that accelerated the reaction, and coarse fabric from available cloth providing the semi-permeable container that regulated oxygen access and therefore reaction rate. The chemistry is worth understanding because it explains both why the improvised versions were inconsistent and what the modern versions do differently. Iron oxidation is exothermic. It releases heat as a byproduct of the chemical transformation from iron to iron oxide. The rate of that heat release is determined by three variables: the surface area of the iron exposed to the reaction environment, the concentration of the electrolyte solution facilitating electron transfer between the iron and the oxygen, and the rate at which oxygen can access the iron surface. Coarse iron filings have less surface area per gram than fine iron powder, producing slower and less consistent heat generation. Inconsistent electrolyte concentration from batch to batch produced variable reaction rates. Uncontrolled oxygen access through whatever cloth was available produced heat output that peaked and declined unpredictably rather than sustaining at a consistent temperature across hours. The soldiers who improvised these warmers were working with the principle correctly. They were working with the materials imprecisely, and the imprecision of the materials is what produced the inconsistent results that made some improvised warmers work through an entire night watch and others cool to ambient temperature within an hour. Manufacturing precision, controlled iron particle size, verified electrolyte concentration, calibrated oxygen access through engineered semi-permeable membranes, is what converts the correct principle into a reliable product. The Okupa rechargeable magnetic hand warmers apply the modern controlled version of exactly this intention. UL safety rated, 100 to 126 degrees Fahrenheit output, 3 heat settings, up to 8 hours per charge on a single device, 2-pack format so you always have a backup. The organized principle is identical to what World War II field soldiers were building into cloth pouches, a compact, self-contained, flameless heat source that produces sustained warmth without combustion, smoke, or visible signature. The manufacturing precision is what the field improvisation was missing. If you want the sustained controlled warmth that the World War II formula was reaching for, this is where the goal is actually achieved. They move fast in cold weather, the link is in the description, and it is worth getting them before the season peaks. Heat that generates at the palm is only useful if it stays at the palm. The field soldier who improvised a hand warmer from iron filings and salt knew this. The warmer went into the glove, not into an open hand, because the glove was the retention system that determined how much of the generated heat actually remained at the hand through a 4-hour watch in sub-zero conditions. A hand warmer without adequate thermal retention requires more heat generation to compensate for what the retention layer is losing, and a compromised retention layer means even a well-made heat source cannot keep a hand functional through extended cold exposure. The Gorilla Grip silicone oven mitts, 550-degree heat resistance, waterproof silicone exterior, thick cotton interior lining, provide the layered thermal barrier that makes any heat source underneath them dramatically more effective. The waterproof exterior prevents the convective heat loss that wind and moisture cause through conventional fabric gloves. The thick cotton lining traps the warm air against the hand rather than allowing it to circulate out. Together they create the same function the field glove was providing, a retention system that multiplies the effective output of whatever heat source is inside it. The link is in the description. No fire. No smoke. No combustion signature. Just the controlled chemistry of iron meeting salt meeting oxygen in a contained system, producing warmth through a winter watch and leaving no trace that warmth was ever generated. Subscribe to In the Beginning. The product links are in the description. See you in the next one.